That's right. It is Aussieverse, and we are back for WrestleMania 41 Night 2. And what a day we have all had. I am Omnibo, joined by I'm going to call them analysts tonight. It is Heroes for Hire Comic Club, Vog, Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics, Papa Wheelie, and Bat Mantha. How are you all doing?
If I'm an analyst, I'm going to pull out my notebook here. Make sure that I look proper.
I made notes.
That's right. We call you panelists, but instead we're going to do analysts. And we do hope that everybody out there...
Write that down. We do hope everybody out there... Instead of being panelists, can we be panelists?
You can. Whatever tickles your fancy. And we want to give a big shout out to our 4 lifers today. There is a couple of people that have recently joined that we have not added to this, but thank you oh so much, everybody that is a part of the 4 lifers. And go check out their individual YouTube channels. That's Rob's Fat Stacks of Comics, Cliff on Comics, Heroes for Hire Comic Club. Who else? We've got a couple of others there. Simple Simon, and I wasn't quick enough. But
still only 35 cents.
Still only 35 cents. Each and every single one of those shows is absolutely fantastic. We are sponsored by Comic Bookaroo. That is enough of the plug-in. Let's get down to some loving. How did we all feel about WrestleMania as a whole, and especially Night 2 today?
I thought it was good. I thought it was way better than Night 1.
Yeah, same. Night 2 just blew Night 1 out of the water. And it felt like a different crowd as well. Like the crowd was so much more energetic, and it just brought so much more energy to the show as well.
It wasn't even close to being better. It was so much better. And the first match alone was better than the entire night of Night 1. You know, I would rather, if I had spent that much money to go and all you showed me was the first match today, or my option was to instead spend that money on all of yesterday, I would have chosen to watch the first match of today.
Yeah. Night 2s are normally better than Night 1s. And give me crap. I wasn't able to watch Night 1, and what I've heard, it was okay. But Night 2, I watched 95%.
The only thing that saved Night 1, I think we all agreed on last night, was the main event. The only thing
I'm disappointed in general. I expect more from my WrestleManias, and
same.
There was some good stuff, but there wasn't any great stuff. And I said it yesterday, and I'm going to say it again. What is wrong with the entrances at WrestleMania, for crying out loud?
Well,
all the money spent, and they can't do a special entrance for everybody. I was expecting dogs for Breaker. I was expecting something huge for Cena, Randy Orton. The list goes on. And all of the intros, bar a couple, were just standard intros. What the hell?
You know who had an amazing intro? And I know we're going to get to his match. I loved what they did for Cody Rhodes. The mask raising.
Well, but what the motorcycles? So, we're not getting to that yet. We're not on the main event yet, right, guys?
So, I mean, forget about that for a second. I mean, if you go back to what you're saying about the overall impression, because we've only talked about like 1%. I agree with you. Overall, this WrestleMania is definitely down when you list up 41 cards as to what this one, how you rank them. This is down near the bottom 10 for sure. I think that even some of the outcomes, whether or not you liked some of the outcomes, a lot of the outcomes, you knew ultimately, even if it wasn't your wrestler, you kind of expected certain things to happen from us. But the execution, I thought, in several of them was really poor. How they chose to execute the storyline to advance it. I didn't care for it very much. You're supposed to do your build up ahead of time. You shouldn't have so many mystery part people. You shouldn't have so many, just things where you apply logic one way and then all of a sudden you apply logic in a match a completely different direction out of the blue. It's just, I think, bad booking.
Yep. I agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Austin Chris Comics, it's because he didn't have multi-year builds for the matches like he did last year. Yeah, but even though that might be true, we have had many WrestleManias without multi-year builds to matches. It's just been like the last, 2 or 3 months.
How much build did you have for your main event, tonight's go home match? How much build did you actually have for that?
Well, as I said on the preview show, I think it hurts it when John Cena doesn't show up. Like he was only on, he only had 3 appearances, and now he's champion. How often are we going to see?
And it's right. That's the craziest thing. I hate to jump to the end, but to sit there and say you just got out of a situation where you had a barely there champion for years. Now you just crowned another barely there champion, and you had he wasn't there to do any of the build up. This is a story driven wrestling league. That's what sets it apart from so many of the other leagues, is the story driven aspect of it. And you didn't have any build up. And those matches that did have build up, they were at best.
Yeah, I agree.
And also, like it's been like 5 or 6 years of this barely there champion. We had Brock Lesnar, who was part-time, who was a champion. Then we had Roman Reigns. Of course, Roman Reigns, I'll give him a little bit of slack because he had health problems. But then now we got John Cena.
All right, let's go into the first match. So, first of all, I did notice yesterday, but if those that watched yesterday's show, I was a little intoxicated yesterday. Today I'm very sober, so don't worry. But yesterday I did forget that there was no America the Great intro, or they always do the. There was none of that for this show. What was with that? Boston, thank you for joining, buddy.
Did they
Probably
do it?
politics out of it.
Did they do it night one?
So Boston.
They didn't do it any night.
No.
Yeah.
I had to come on. I have a little bit of a cold, so if I sound like shit, I'm sorry. But I had to kind of put a couple of things in perspective, because I know where you guys are coming from, and I hear you. But when it comes to why this WrestleMania didn't hold up it didn't stand as big as last year's, is because of the fact that you had long-term booking that went all the way through. And that's why you had a lot of things kind of fall flat, because you're trying to build back from where you were. I mean, like last year's WrestleMania was incredible. And
one story.
Well, that's the thing. Well, no, I had that, but that bloodline story was woven through the entire like 3 or 4 years. Like everybody was trying to knock Roman Reigns off, and I mean
that was one match.
No, it was a bunch of different things throughout though. Like you had such a big build that when you got to that. And there was other matches that built in too. You had the CM Punk with Drew McIntyre thing. Like there was a lot of different stuff going on. But it was good overall. Just because they had a good, they basically did a good job of building it. Now this time around, there was some things that were just that didn't make a lot of sense that they did. I think Cena versus Cody is not it's a big match because of the fact that Cena can win the title more than anybody else. Great. But the thing is, though, is that you really wanted to see The Rock in that position, Cody versus The Rock, or you wanted to see Cody versus, I would have said, like CM Punk or Roman or somebody. That would have made more sense, where it's like you have a little bit more established there. But
we'll get to that in a bit. Poppy, you're saying that Jelly Roll did the song?
What happened?
He's saying that Jelly Roll did the song. I didn't see that.
I only started watching it at 4:00. I didn't watch any pre. Maybe they did during the pre-up.
Sorry, Samantha?
No, I thought it was quite surprising that even in the post-WrestleMania show that's being streamed on WWE's YouTube right now, even Peter Rosenberg said that the main event was clunky and not going to lose. It was really surprising for him to say on WWE's live stream.
Clunky describes a lot of matches.
Yeah. There was some tough ones. Like even the women's tag match was a little clunky too. I was like, oh, there's a couple of spots in there that just didn't go well. But it's just you got to see how limited Cena really is after being away for so long. Like that match was so slow, and it makes sense because Cena's you got lots of ring rust, but it's just like that's your main event. You got to have your best main event.
I don't know what people were expecting from Cena, because he looked really rusty in that match with Austin Theory a couple years ago. Were people take your nostalgia goggles off for a second? Were people really expecting a 5-star classic?
I don't
Okay,
know. I
hang
really
on.
don't.
Before we do get into all of this, let's get some structure here, okay? Because hey, Christina, thank you very much for joining. Vogs, you are on, so I don't know what's going on with your camera, but we'll keep you there.
That's
Let's
his
start
old
off
one.
with the very first match of the night.
Hello.
This is
You're here.
Io Sky versus Ripley versus Bianca Belair. Now, I said it. I called the whole Seth Rollins Paul Heyman thing. Apparently, I was wrong tonight, though, with Belair. I was convinced she was going to turn heel with Naomi. That didn't happen. I am personally happy Io won, but how did each of you guys feel about this match?
Absolutely loved it. It was my match of the night. It was my most anticipated match on the whole show. I think I said that on the preview show a couple nights ago. I was so impressed. I knew going in that this was going to be a good match, but this exceeded my expectations from start to finish. It was just non-stop, like full gear. All three of them delivered. It was so good, but it sort of ruined the whole show because no one else could match that level, in my opinion.
Wait,
I like the match. I made a note that says Io wins, boo, frowny face.
So you guys can hear me even though it says you guys can hear me even though it says I'm back.
Yes, Vogs, we can hear you.
We got you.
That's weird. I'll go real quick. I didn't really get to watch the fight. I like Belair, I like Rhea, but I'm happy for Io Sky. I really am. That's good for her.
As a Rhea fan, I was just upset she didn't win, but it was a great match.
Yeah, but I think Io deserved it.
Very entertaining.
You know? When I was talking to Batmantha about, because my memory with the actual facts in wrestling is very, very grainy at times, and I wasn't sure if she'd actually ever won at a WrestleMania. And when they said that she'd never had, I went, well, she's got to win it, man, because she deserves it.
Yeah.
All right.
I actually missed that match because I was on my way home, so I have to go back and watch it. But from what you guys are saying, it seems like they really set a high bar.
All right, so I actually watched this match and I took some notes.
Okay,
go Rob.
Fuck, sorry. First of all, fuck the juice box. Let me just say that this juice box at the beginning and the cone zone at the end, this damn advertising is bullshit. This triple threat match, absolutely, without a doubt, the match of WrestleMania. It stands out by far. Like Batmantha was saying, right out the gates, they came out 1,000,000 miles an hour. They kept the pace up throughout the match. They did a really good job of trading out who was taking moments resting, so that way the action was nonstop and constant throughout, just about.
Yeah, it was well paced.
The Ripley coming out with the Batman Who Laughs homage. Very cool.
Thank you. I wanted to say that as well. Yes.
As soon as I saw it, I was like, God damn, Batman Who Laughs. Here we go.
Yes. Yes.
They got some really heavy hits. The girls were not holding back. They were definitely bringing the hits. I did not like, though, I'm a Rhea fan. I can get past Rhea not winning. That's fine. Yeah. I have certain issues with the way that she wrestles in these big events. She seems to have no capability to take a hit. For somebody who we've built up as this big, imposing individual, she gets in there and she gets a hit, and then she's like frozen solid in a turnbuckle for 30 seconds while somebody does something constantly. She doesn't, Riptide doesn't go, and rather than follow it up or do something about it, she sits there and practically cries to the referee about the fact that she didn't win the match right there. There's just little things that throughout that to me take down and make her look weak despite her physical power. And the fact that she can't land anything on Sky, and every time Io Sky hits a great move, it's always on Rhea. I mean, obviously the long-term story is to bring those two back together, because you've been telling us that Rhea can't beat Io and hasn't beaten her. And so you're playing this up, but man, it little pieces nick away that make it so this big, powerful individual you've built up, they're just you've made them look weak, in my opinion.
I agree. I can see
Rob,
that.
I agree. Like Rhea Ripley is kind of like supposed to have a mystique like the Taker. And you can't Undertaker, they always made him look strong. Like I talked about last night with the Hell in a Cell with Shawn Michaels. He beat Shawn Michaels from every post to pillar of that match. And then, you know, he won because Kane interfered. It's the same thing with Undertaker. It's like you need to protect your talent that you want to protect like this. Like this, you got somebody supposed to be like a monster, like the Phenom. You got to, yeah.
Why did Io Sky come out first as well? I have a big problem with that.
Yeah.
The champion comes out first
because Rhea was going to get the biggest pop, so they put the biggest pop last. Which
doesn't matter. The champion comes out.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree. I think the crowd really likes Io as well, so I don't think it would have hurt her to come out last either.
Especially if you just gave her juiced up her entrance a little bit. You give her a juiced up entrance as the champion. Yeah, that would have been that would have been fun. That would have been all you needed to make it at least equal to, if not better than. So
the only female to get a special entrance, correct me if I'm wrong, was Tiffany Stratton, right?
Yes.
Charlotte Bobby, didn't she?
No, Charlotte didn't have anything special.
What's her name all of a sudden?
Didn't Charlotte come out of a car?
About the storm
intro?
Oh,
sorry, Charlotte came out of a car. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
What about that storm like intro that
Jake.
Yeah, true. Okay. But
I've forgotten about that one already.
I agree with Bleeker, who's saying, some of you guys are saying that, that Rhea doesn't need a belt, and I get it. And I don't think, there's always certain fights you can have her go on and feud with Bianca now for a while with her not having a belt. But I just think sometimes in how you book the match throughout allowing people to look strong even in defeat is important.
Yeah.
Especially when you're building up certain mystiques.
I don't think coming out with a mask is considered a special entrance, in my opinion. That just means you've worn something different,
Yeah.
That was dumb too, but we'll get to that. All right, so are we all in agreement then that we're happy EO won? It sounds like it.
Yeah, I'm
fine with it.
Yeah, love it.
I still have to watch it, but I'm sure I will be. I just, I feel bad that I missed it. So.
Yeah. Oh, fair enough.
That's actually that's the only match I really wanted to talk about. So I'm gonna peace out.
Go watch it again.
You guys have a good show.
Thank you. See you later, Samantha. All right, so we're going to go on to what I thought was going to steal the show, but unfortunately didn't. It was still good, but Damian Priest
solid.
It was still solid. Yeah, Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre. Damian comes out with the Slayer intro.
Oh no, it goes back up first. Drew came out first. He got the freaking poor short end of the straw of having to come dressed out in the video game outfit, which you can tell he was so thrilled to be wearing. Oh my goodness. And it looked cheap to boot.
Yeah.
It
was for Doom, wasn't it?
Yeah. I didn't know what it was. And until they said, and even then Michael Cole's going, I think he doesn't even seem to know. I mean, it was pretty pathetic. McIntyre obviously doesn't like wearing it, and it's out of character. So, but it's just another way for them to sell advertising that, you get a wrestler wearing stuff for your video game, like they did with they did in the Kofi match, but then they had the wrong two people doing it. When in night one's WrestleMania match, it would have made sense at least if the New Day had done it, because they were all about video gaming. But you said you had the War Raiders doing it. Now you got. I understand advertising is going to be there, especially now as it's not a pay-per-view. I get it, but at the same time, you're on that borderline of selling ad space on these guys' trunks and stuff. I mean,
Jesus. No, I I didn't really get to watch this match either.
The,
but don't worry, I watched the other ones again. I was out and
The
about.
only thing I noticed is you think they were short on time for that match because it seemed like it didn't last that long.
Man,
Yeah.
No.
I think the whole event didn't last that
Sorry,
long.
Will. I'm sorry, Will.
Okay, sorry. I'll say real quick. Didn't really get to watch this match. I'll get extensive with the other ones. I agree with Rob. Advertisements, like, I get it. You're trying to appeal and advertising sells, but you know what? That's kind of annoying and gimmicky and it gets old fast. So I agree with what Rob said.
Yeah.
So the ring entrance. So you get that lame ring. Now you get your guitar solo, right?
Yeah.
For Damian Priest comes out with the lamest bat wings or demon wings ever. I mean, I don't know. Is he Batman? Well, I don't know what he was, but it was not good. And then the guitar solo, the first 60 seconds were awful.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's me just being an old man or what, but I was like, someone pull the fucking plug on this guy because this is not fucking good.
Yeah. I was listening and I'm like, I really want to love this because I love it when they do live music, but it was just a bunch of there wasn't any music to it, was there?
I could do that. Papa could do that.
I mean, and if you compare it to CM Punk's entrance last night with Living, I mean, it blows that one out way out of the way. It's just like, dude, like this was bad. Like, it just didn't. It like you had the one guitarist, just and it wasn't good. Having the whole band and Living Color doing it up for CM Punk was great. This not so much. Don't do this again.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Did you like Rob how at one point when they did the suplex onto the steel ramp?
Oh, again, yeah, you had the steel ramp, but don't forget later on, and later on in the night we had the steel table too.
Yes.
which is I'm just getting absolute. Yeah, everything is made of steel apparently in the WWE. But the match itself, it was what it is. What you can say, two big guys. They hit each other. They hit each other with objects. They used objects on each other. All crazy stuff. Obviously, I think in my idea, overall it was solid. There was obviously the crazy McIntyre going airborne, which was pretty impressive. And what a bump Priest takes at the end. While going old school. That's
But was any of it a WrestleMania moment? I don't think so.
No, absolutely no. None of it was like none of it's going to be a highlight reel, right? I mean, unless it's might be a highlight reel of this night, but if there was a highlight reel of WrestleManias over time, no, you're not doing any. You're not really kind of talking about it. But it was entertaining. It was two guys that could go. They're willing to take bumps and put on a match. I still don't think it's anywhere on the same level as when you get a Sheamus and a McIntyre fight. Those two guys. Wow.
But Dwayne's World was talking about that chair spot thing. That was wild to me.
But I still expected more from these two.
They stayed in the ring. For a street fight, where was the street?
That's true. You're true, Rob.
We didn't even go out into the crowd, let alone up the ramp or out on the street.
You know what I told someone before? I said, I wasn't able to watch the fight. Imagine them fighting on the strip. That would have been funny.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you got more street fight in the main event last night than you did this. I mean, at least they went into the crowd for a little bit, but no crowd, nothing.
Nothing. Yeah, it was really just nothing more than a tables and there's no ladders, tables and chairs match. I mean,
and the thing too, I'll say, so yes, the finish was the kick to the chair, but the real finish of that match was the DDT on the stairs. Like at that point, you could have pinned them, and that was it. The match was over. Like you didn't have to kick out of that, but I mean, they want to obviously use their own actual finisher. But that if you're looking at a logical point to end that match if you just were like, you know what, this has gone on too long. Let's like that was it. And you know, the finish of the match, I didn't hate it. I just but Drew kind of did a lot of that same stuff where it was like, you know, he would hit a move and it wouldn't follow up. He just kind of would just hang back and look around.
Yeah, there was a lot of that.
Kind of think about it. It was like, so there was a lot of like it seemed like there was a lot of, you know, guys either trying to catch their breath or whatever they're trying to do. Because that match, I mean, they had the table set up, like all the spots were there, like well in advance of when they actually happened. So I don't know if they were just kind of trying to slow it down a little bit, or if they were told you had this much time, they started moving a little quicker, and then they had to slow it down so that they filled in that time. I'm not 100% sure, but
I definitely watch looking at the comments. I mean, I like some of these things people talk about. You know, again, they're hitting on the same things about they stayed at the ring, they didn't go out anywhere. You know, thought it would have been really cool if somehow they could have gotten like into a casino, forget out to the strip.
Yeah.
Out on the out, even if it was like a backstage mocked up casino or something. I mean, granted, actually, you know what? I take that back. They're not at a casino, so it didn't matter. They were at a football stadium, so I guess that's all stupid. Never mind, I'm an idiot. But man, it would have been cool to see
to get on the strip. That's a big arena.
Rob,
they would have had to cover a lot of ground to get outside. That's probably the problem.
They should have pinned him at Caesar's Palace.
Yeah, they
should take somebody through a craps table or something. That would have been awesome.
Exactly.
They could have done it like the remember the Gold Dust and Roddy Piper match at WrestleMania where they
or had the match. Sometimes those are weird. I guess that's something better for another thing. It's hard at WrestleMania to do a cinematic off-site match while everybody's there in the stadium. So I get it, but man, that just seems like there's so many lost opportunities on. It just didn't align with what its name was.
Yeah.
I feel like here we go. I feel like we do sort of get at least one WrestleMania moment most years, don't we?
Usually.
Yeah, I can't really think of anything this year that was that good. And this is a good point as well. Last year we had The Rock but no Stone Cold. This year we had Stone Cold but no Rock.
Stay tuned next year.
Has any street fight actually been in the streets since Roddy Piper and Gold Dust? I feel like there's
not on WWE.
No.
Yeah.
AEW does, but you know we're not talking about them.
Yeah.
They could have closed a bit and had fans there. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
Have a car chase through the city.
Somebody mentioned that Stone Cold in that four-wheeler. That was.
I mean, but so as this match, the final goes for it. I mean, it's good that Drew finally wins. Man has not won any for a while, but did Drew need to win? Does not winning hurt Priest any?
Yeah, see, that's what I'm shocked with. I'm
not sure.
I actually thought Priest would win because I feel like Priest needed it more. Where Drew sort of is a bit like in the rear box, where I don't think Drew can really. I don't think it matters how much Drew loses at the moment. He's just too popular and too good. At least that's my opinion. You know, no matter how many times he loses, he's still not going to look weak, in my opinion. Where with Damian, he kind of is.
Well, and the two of them really are at a point where like there's not really much planned for them. So I mean, like. I guess you could kind of be like, all right, we'll roll the dice and see who wins. And it's just like, I mean, but really, I mean, I don't know what the upside is for Drew winning versus I don't know what the upside or the downside is for Damian Priest losing, just because it really doesn't seem like there's much planned for them. Unless, I mean, I really don't know where they're going with either one of those characters. I mean, because I mean, you can shoot, like you said, you can shoot Drew into any feud. It works. Damian, you need a little bit more build up. So we'll see what they do with him. But
people are saying that Drew hasn't won anything big in a while, and look, that is a good point. So
no, it's absolutely true, except for last WrestleMania where he won the World Championship. Even if he did,
they made him look real. But then
stupid.
But CM Punk, made him look silly at the end of that match.
Well, but that's his own thing, and that's where you could have, I wouldn't have been surprised if there was some way in where something silly happens again and it causes that had Drew lose and continue that character thing going on. But you know what? Hey, I'm not like you said, I'm not sure where exactly you're taking them right now, long term. I mean, obviously they can be interjected stuff. Damien. I'm trying to be the Undertaker. Yeah, I could see Damien getting. I don't. Is Damien on Raw? Is that what he's on now?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
No,
because I could. If he's on SmackDown, I could see him going and getting involved in the Fatu situation now.
Yeah,
as a challenger there.
Yeah, that works. I like that. Sorry to be negative, but really, this WrestleMania felt like a dude. You're exactly right.
We agree. Yeah.
Exactly agree with you. You know, even if they at least, I'm sorry to harp on about the entrances, but even if they at least made the entrances special, it would have at least felt like they were trying to elevate it a bit more. But without those entrances as well, it just, you know, I mean, I sit there, I've got a partner that puts up with the wrestling and doesn't mind it. She loves Rhea Ripley and she loves a few other people, but she's not a wrestling fan.
Oh, she was back in home today?
Yeah,
No more candid photography?
No candid photography. For her to sit down with me for 4 hours today and watch the wrestling, I felt sorry for her.
Yeah. Before you transition to the next match, though, there was a spot that came up as a promo that I made a note on that just seemed like, to me, again, foreshadowing that wasn't there. It was like they did the Perth ad.
Yeah.
And I was like, does this just not foreshadow a Cena win, the way that we're driving this whole big deal about Cena, Perth, Cena, Perth, Cena.
Yeah. And fuck you, WWE, for going to Perth again. And not only that, but you're going to have a Raw and a SmackDown there as well as a pay-per-view, you bastards. Because Perth, for those that don't know, is the other end of Australia. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with Perth people or Perth the state itself. What I am saying is that for
it's
people
not where
like
Bo
myself,
lives.
For people like myself, they up those prices for the flights to Perth. They triple them, and I wanted to go to the Elimination Chamber, and I could have just afforded the tickets. What I couldn't afford was the tickets, the flight, and the accommodation.
Fucking tell him, Bo.
Always wanted to go to a Raw and a SmackDown. It has always been one of my dreams, obviously a WrestleMania, but it's always been one of my dreams to go to a Raw and a SmackDown. And it's the first time Australia is ever having a Raw and a SmackDown, and it's in Perth, for crying out loud.
Rob, have you been to a WrestleMania?
Not WrestleMania, no.
Oh, wow. Has anyone been to a WrestleMania?
I would never pay those prices.
I've been to two Monday Night Raw.
Where have you been?
Two Monday Night Raw and SmackDown.
I went to WrestleMania 14 when Stone Cold won the title. I mean, I was in the 8th grade. I was lucky enough to be able to go to that. That was a long time ago.
Rob, you beautiful. God damn it. Claudia, we need to add more people. Rob's done it again.
Congratulations to Whack Comics, Madam, E-Man's World of Geek, Legion of Comics, and Cam Strickland, all gifted memberships to the Aussieverse. You are now a member of the Aussieverse, and that means you are for life.
For life.
Rob,
I'm going to join sooner or later because Bo. Yeah.
All right. So that was that. That was my little in-between segment.
Australia, not only us, bit of a strange location. Well, yeah, it's because the Perth government are paying for it. That's why.
Fatal four-way.
Dwayne was at WrestleMania 18.
Yeah. Nice.
You know, Dwayne, that was the first WrestleMania I ever got to see live because up until WrestleMania 18, you had to you obviously had to pay for the pay-per-views back then, but I'd never got to see it live. That was my very, very first one. It is very kind of you. Thank you so much, Rob. Logan, one of these nights needed the SmackDown Tag TLC match. They could have swapped out the New Day War Raiders. Absolutely. Absolutely, man.
Yeah.
And SummerSlam in TO. Where's TO?
I don't know.
Turnover. Okay. I don't know.
Toronto?
Cliff, thank you very much. I hope you've gotten over your bunk show. Rob is awesome. Saw Hogan versus Rock and Lesnar versus Goldberg. Yeah, man. Look, I've been to the wrestling every time it's come to Melbourne, and I was very lucky. I got to see Triple H versus Ric Flair. I got to see Brock Lesnar versus The Rock. I've seen a couple of good matches, so I'm very, very happy with that.
To be honest, the last time I went to a match, and there's the reason I don't go anymore because nothing can top it. I had ringside seats because they were gifted to me by the radio station I was working for, and it was Undertaker and Mankind in the beginning of that feud. And I had Foley in my lap when Undertaker throws him over the barricade and stuff. So I just to date myself, Vader was also fighting Shawn Michaels, I think, in that card. And
wow.
So it was, and Sid Vicious was in that card too.
Oh, cool.
Wow. Papa says TKO has openly said that they're cutting costs. I bet entrance costs could have been. Yeah, but
that's probably it.
Yeah, but I mean, but you have to.
WrestleMania though, you go all out, right?
Yeah, exactly. You have to think about that in the way of that. If you look at other promotions and the way that they do, like look at how when New Japan does their big shows, they go to the nines for those entrances, and they really do it up. And it's just like that. That's one of the big things with WrestleMania. At least, at the very least, the main event. Has to have at least good entrances for everybody. If you can't do that, then I mean, this doesn't work. It just doesn't feel as special.
Yeah, agreed.
Last thing I want to mention. Do it. Oh, sorry,
Rob.
No, go. Your show. Sorry, I was trying to take over your show again.
Mate, you are always welcome to take over my show. The last thing I want to mention about the Drew and Damian fight was that selfie with Drew's brother's phone. I thought that was funny. That was funny.
Yeah.
Oh, Papa, you went to WrestleMania 26.
Is that the one where Brock Lesnar broke his neck?
Which one was 26?
I'm trying to think.
It was the one after 25, but before 27.
Oh, that's right, Rob. Yeah.
How could we be so stupid?
I can't count.
Been a fan since '85. You and me both, Dwayne. The Don't Cut Cost at WrestleMania. Breach Bleecker sold out both nights. And did they sell out though? Because leading up, there was a lot of tickets that were still around, and all the events were sold out. They have the money.
Well,
exactly.
There's ways you sell out no matter what, right? You buy out the rest of your own tickets and then you give them away or whatever. It's.
Are we in the fatal 4-way now?
Oh, Brett versus Vince.
Vince. Oh, wow. Okay.
Fact check. I'm right. That's right. Thank you, Dwayne.
All right.
Tell my wife.
Moving on. Rob, hopefully you decide to come to Perth and put me in your baggie and we can both go. Next up was the dog-faced Gremlin's nephew, Bron Breakker versus Penta versus Finn versus Dom. And that Manta, she called it, man. She called it. Whoa!
I heard a lot of people call this one. I'll tell you a couple things before we get into the match. I watched his entrance on this. I was like, what? Why does Braun not get a mask? Everybody else came out with a mask on. What the hell?
I for a minute thought he was going to come out with a dog collar and the leather jacket like Rick did with the dog little Mac truck things on it.
I mean, it was just like really weird seeing like Dom and Finn come out with masks as well as it all.
I know. And why was everybody wearing a mask in that match?
Did you guys catch during the commentary during the early part of the match, McAfee math?
Yes.
Yes, I did actually. Yes, I did. I love McAfee, man.
And of course, this is the match that gave us the steel table.
Yes. Yeah, it's made out of steel, folks.
Who's the British announcer?
Wayne Barrett.
Wade Barrett, yeah.
Yeah, he was.
Who he's supposed to be our color commentator who's in love with the heels, but when we get to our final match, for some reason he was a face. I don't understand that one. But let's talk about this final 4-way. Bo, take it away. Lead this group. Take control. Shut these panelists down, and you take control, sir.
Well, they're analysts tonight, not panelists, first of all, get it right. And second of all, I expected, okay, I feel like I'm even annoying myself now with how much I'm talking about the entrances. But Brock, oh my God, I said it again. Bron Breakker. I expected dogs, bro. I wanted like a whole army of dogs to come out with Bron Breakker. I thought that was a natural entrance progression for his character. But no, alas, that's what happened. Dom wasn't able to take off his mask for a second, and that was a little embarrassing. But you know, I got to tell you, man, Dom, oh man, catch you later. I loved it. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah.
And it was a good match. I enjoyed it. I got to admit, it was one of the better matches of the night.
All I have to say real quick about that match, it was a lot of fun. And I thought it was crazy because I think we're going to now see a feud between and I'm going to start to watch wrestling. I normally watch the main events and occasionally Raw and SmackDown. I'm going to start watching it more and more so I can talk with you guys and know what I'm talking about. Oh, nice. I think we're going to see a feud between Finn and Dominic because, as you saw, Finn was trying to pin Braun, and then Dominic's like, you know what? I'm not going to let you do that on my watch. I'm not going to let you do that on my watch. Yeah. And then he pins Finn to win the match. I think we're going to see a Judgment Day feud between those two for a while.
I think the Judgment Day is over with.
Oh, it is. It's gone.
And you know what? I want to address this comment here because how do you make an amazing baby face other than somebody like Cody Rhodes who comes out after years of being away? You make them the best heel. And when they're the best heel for a long time, they will make an amazing baby face later.
Did what I said make sense, or was it just blah, blah, blah?
What you said we've been saying for quite some time, and yes, it makes sense.
No, I don't want him to turn face right now. I just love him as a heel. He's like the best heel in the company right now.
I'm not saying I want him to turn face yet either, but I'm telling you that the day Dom does turn face, it's going to be massive, and he's going to be a huge face.
So, I think that ships almost maybe. Of course, the Vegas crowd was a little unique. Yeah. And maybe that's because they're Raiders fans. No offense to the Raiders fans, but you're unique. But I mean, the pop afterwards. Dom was straight up getting face pop. All that. There you go. So, you could potentially see him, become a face sooner than you'd like to say. But then again, we could turn around and it's very easy to have him do some more slimy stuff. But obviously, yes, there's going to be stuff with him and Finn. It just matters who you want them. But Finn's been being more of a jerk. Dom's almost been kind of a sympathetic heel at times lately. So, I could see him going face. Ultimately, I'm happy to see Breakker not have that belt because, like I expressed repeatedly, I'm not I like him as a wrestler. I don't like his character that they've put on WWE. He's too one-dimensional, and he needs to be given the ability to speak and have some personality.
Yeah, or maybe a good manager that could be like a mouthpiece like Paul.
Rob, do you think Judgment Day splits up?
They've been on a long. That's been a long teased storyline for quite some time now. So
I think it's over.
Its breakup has been inevitable.
Yeah.
The one with that, obviously Penta didn't need anything from this match other than to look okay.
Yeah.
He was fine. He didn't get buried like his brother did last night. So that's fine. And yeah, I mean, it was a serviceable match that was. I don't care what really happened in the match itself as much as was what it did it moved a storyline. And that's what's next. You think Braun will be a good enforcer for Karrion? If they want to do anything with Karrion, the problem is even when he got rehired back, he hasn't been allowed to really do much of anything.
Yeah.
And that's strange because he's a Triple H guy.
Yeah. I really feel bad for Karrion Kross because we need that NXT Karrion Kross back, baby. You know,
right?
We need
granted,
that guy back. You know,
you can only feel sorry for the man. There's only so much you can.
Hair, but we need that shaved head Karrion Kross back.
There's only so much so you can feel sorry for the man when he gets to go home every night with.
Do you think maybe Braun would be helped out if they make it bring like Scott or Rick in with him and like?
No, let him be his own. Don't pigeonhole him as a Steiner. That's the whole reason of him having his own name.
His name. You're right.
Yeah,
you're right.
Yeah, but I'm very interested to see Raw tomorrow for many reasons. One of them,
me too.
being this Judgment Day angle, because surely it's over now, man. I mean, I'm still shocked that Liv and Dom are together after Dom tried the whole "get back with me" Rhea thing a little while ago.
Exactly.
You know, like, how did that just fizzle out of nowhere? Like, come on, where's Liv's like?
There you go. Finish the face turn
against Americano, saving his
that would complete
the face turn.
Yeah.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, but I think the ship has sailed with Liv betraying Dom. To be honest, I think they need to do something else, like the Finn. You know what? Well, you know what would be good, man? If Finn, you know how Finn's been against people joining the Judgment Day.
Yeah.
What if Finn turns around tomorrow night on Raw or sometime soon, and he just has 3 new guys, for instance, join the Judgment Day, and he turns around and kicks out every other member of the Judgment Day, and the only member that stays with Finn is JD McDonough.
That'd be cool.
I almost would see him. I'd almost see him instead just walk away from it, you know. But
have a new Judgment Day.
I think they're all just gonna. I think it's all gonna implode, and they're just gonna like
go separate.
Well, we'll see. Maybe that's where we can do something with Aleister Black.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Bullet Club. We need Bullet Club. We need AJ Styles and Finn to get together. And
God! Well, wait till we get to the AJ Styles match. Do I have comments?
Oh, okay.
I have a lot of notes. I wrote a lot of nasty things about that match on here, Rob.
Well, before we do get into that one, are we all in agreement that we're happy with Dom winning, or does somebody else want to?
Absolutely.
Yes?
Dom winning
I'm not upset with it.
Yeah,
I'm not. I'm neutral. I'm not upset. I'm not happy.
I'm surprised by it more.
Dom winning was the most fun outcome you could have had from that match. Like there's so much more fun things that can come off of that. So that's the way I see it. I was like, I wanted to see Dom. I wanted to see Dom win. I didn't expect the crowd to pop the way they did for him, but I'm glad they did.
Right.
So it's just like, put the money behind him for a little bit. Let him be, let him be a character that they push and see where they can get from him. So I'm excited. I'm happy with that.
Yeah, I actually kind of thought that Finn was gonna be the one who would walk away with it over at Dom's expense, but I think from a story perspective, it's definitely going to be more interesting with Dom. Now we run into the same problem I've said in the past is, do you believe him as his character has been built thus far? Is he believable to defend that? I mean, granted, he's going to defend it probably depends on whether he's going to be a face or not. Is going to depend on whether he's going to defend it clean or defend it as a slimy. And I don't think he can defend it anyway but being slimy.
Yeah, that's the only way. That's the only way it works and makes it fun, is that if he's out there stealing and cheating and lying to get his way. So
god damn. I didn't think about that. Fucking straight up. He's gonna go full blown Eddie Guerrero.
He has to. He has to.
Oh, yeah, that would be.
What's wrong with that? Eddie Guerrero, the greatest of all time.
I didn't think about it. That's all.
Viva la raza.
Yeah.
Sorry, Dwayne. You and I have been in agreement the whole night, but here, I'm sorry, you're wrong. Eddie is not his uncle. Eddie is his puppy. Thank you very much. It is his dad. I don't care what DNA tests say. Dom is Eddie Guerrero's son. Liv will cost Dom the title, and that's the breakup of the Judgment Day. Well, we'll see. All right, moving on. We then have, if I may be so bold, Randy Orton versus.
Oh God!
Wow! And boy,
yes.
What the fuck?
Before we go into the actual, hang on, Rob. Hang on. Rob, before we go into the actual match,
we all need to do the Joe Hendry.
Before we go into the actual match, can I just ask everybody in here? Do you believe in Joe Hendry? Because this motherfucker does. And when that music hit, I went, oh my God, yes. I was so happy to see Joe Hendry.
So
I can't wait to speak on this. I cannot wait to speak on this.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll go real fast. I was talking to Matt on a backstage, and he has a delay. You heard me, Matt, when I said,
yeah, he said, oh shit. I said, who is it? Who is it, Boggs?
And I said, I believe in Joe Hendry.
I said, oh shit. Yeah, I was like, oh shit, I popped. I popped right here sitting in my chair. I popped for that, yeah.
No. I'm going to go real quick, Bo, if you don't mind. I was shocked. I thought it was going to be like, I don't know, a legend or like a Sami Zayn. I don't know.
Joe Hendry is a legend.
Did I expect it was going to be Joe Hendry? No. Did I think it was a gimmick to get Joe Hendry even more popularity than he does? Yes. Was I surprised Joe Hendry lost? No.
Okay, so here's the thing, right? As soon as I discovered Joe Hendry through NXT, because I didn't know him before that, and I went and did my research on him, and I saw the 30, 40 different YouTube videos of all the entrances that he's done in the other federations, I started to fall in love with this guy, and I said to myself, Triple H or whoever's in charge is going to see dollar signs with this guy. Because whether he's a good wrestler or not is not the point. The point
an entertainer.
Is those entrances are worth money, man. Are worth money. And when they promoted him on NXT so hard, and then Joe Hendry recently said, "You will see me on any show," I went, "It is." As soon as Joe Hendry loses the TNA World Title and his contract expires, he's going straight to WWE, and he's going to be a champ. Now,
100%.
Now, I'm just giving my thoughts quickly before we go around. The vignette on Randy Orton, I freaking loved. I thought it was fantastic. They're the sort of vignettes that I like to see. Same with the CM Punk one yesterday. But the match was dreck. It was crap. I can't believe it ended so quickly. It made the TNA World Champion look soft. It should have gone on a lot more than that. And then he got done twice by the RKO for crying out loud. Poor TNA.
You know what, Bo? I said it like I said it a minute ago. I was happy to see Joe Hendry get a chance, but was I surprised he lost?
That was no chance. No, that was no chance. First and foremost, I was saying, was watching with Papa and a few of our other friends, and I said, I was just like, the only person I don't want to see come out right now is Joe Hendry, and I knew it was going to be
no way.
I knew. Oh yeah, absolutely. Like just because, like it's one of those things where it's like he gets the instant pop because he's popular. Like basically, Joe Hendry is their answer to MJF. Even though he doesn't do the exact same stuff, he's the whole reason. Once he started getting popular and they basically figured him out, like he's the whole reason why they stopped pursuing MJF over from AEW, because they're like, all right, we can use this guy right here. We don't have to worry about him potentially swearing or doing anything stupid. Like this guy works. But the thing that I said, like as soon as he came out, I was like, this is not good. I was like, so you're going to have the TNA World Champion come out and get beat at WrestleMania. If he loses, this is bad. Not only does he lose, he gets squashed. So now the TNA Championship looks terrible. It's just like all their entire roster looks like garbage going on to like literally like so if you're watching a WWE programming, but it's a TNA wrestler, you can't take them serious. Oh, here's the bingo hall guys coming up to get beat. The job is basically
that's what they did.
And then, like you said, on top of that, then you bury him with a second RKO and really destroy that working relationship you have. It's just like
And I think he has a neck injury now.
No, the thing is that like if that's supposed to be like, you know, you have a working relationship and this and that, you literally just destroyed that right in the middle of that ring right there on your biggest event. You just absolutely just took a dump all over TNA and was like, send us some more of your talent. Why? So they can get beat in 2 seconds? Like, this is terrible. It's a horrible, like if you're TNA, you have to be angry.
I made several notes on this match, probably the most of any night of the night, except for Cody's match. And I put TNA champion at WrestleMania? What the fuck? Joe Hendry, exclamation, exclamation, exclamation. And then I put never trust the Viper.
Can we just give
him up, and then he RKOs him again.
Can we just give Rob the stage? Because I see him being
He's
so
at the bit.
patient there.
I'm sorry, Rob. I'm sorry.
He put a muzzle on his mouth. I can see it. And he's dying to get some thoughts out. So please, Rob, take it away.
Well, most of the thoughts have been expressed, but Joe Hendry showing up fine. I have no problem with that. Yeah. It's just as good as anybody else. A matter of fact, good opportunity. If this was part of your, hey, we have this working relationship with TNA, then it's fine. It's an opportunity to help get some eyeballs onto TNA. But if you're going to do that, and it's fine, we don't need Hendry to win. Hendry just needs to be legitimized against Randy Orton, a 50-50 match. Hell, even he could have gone 40-60, 40% Hendry, 60%, Randy, and he still could have put on a good, solid match and looked good in defeat, or somebody else comes in to interfere, so there's no clean outcome from it, even if you really want to, whatever. At least lets TNA and their champion come out not looking like utter garbage.
Yeah, this looked like a joke.
Did nothing, not only for Joe Hendry, but it did nothing for TNA whatsoever. And if I'm TNA, I'm saying we're done. I can't even believe that they agreed to this. And the first RKO, fine, but then you pull them up and then you do the second one. That's just like, okay, I've already buried you. Now I'm fucking pissing on your grave and I'm putting another shovel full of dirt on top of it.
Oh yeah,
absolutely. That was just
they made him look soft, and now I feel like the other TNA guys are like, oh man,
you know who would have been a better pick from TNA other than Joe Hendry? Dolph Ziggler. Imagine if
they could have got him back.
Imagine, no one disagrees. No, okay. I think
you could have taken. You could have taken any number of people who are still on the WWE roster that you forgot are on the roster still, and had them do that role.
Exactly.
Shane Hurricane Helms could have come fucking backed out, laced it up one more time for that shit. I mean, come on.
If you were to honestly, and this might sound a little nuts saying this like this, but like if you wanted to job somebody out that has a presence on the WWE, have him job out Solo. Solo could have come out, got jobbed out because he could have been arrogant or cocky, whatever. And then boom, right like that, easy. Right, and all Joe Hendry really needed in this match to be legitimized is like 2 near falls. 2 near falls to get him. Oh, that was a 2.5. That was a 2.5, and then RKO out of nowhere. Oh shit, he beat him. That's all you needed is a couple of near falls, and then like Randy Orton just kind of hits a desperate RKO, and there you go. All right, took him to the limit. He just wasn't quick enough to beat Randy. That's all you needed.
But wait, on a side note, when they were standing there looking at each other, who knew that Joe Hendry was so fucking small? Randy Orton,
I was like,
was just
I was talking with
ginormous, especially when Hendry grabbed him by the throat, and he's just like,
"Yeah,
what are you doing?"
I was talking with Matt backstage, and I'm like, Joe Hendry's built, but Orton's looking down at him, and he's like, "You are gonna fight me? No."
Here's who you should have had come off if you wanted to pull someone off the TNA roster, and you wanted to get a pop, and you wanted to make it big, and you wanted to do a squash on somebody who you could arguably say deserves it from the WWE is you could have had Jeff Hardy come out.
Yeah.
He would have popped huge.
Yep.
He deserves to take a freaking smashing for all that he did over them, and he could figure it as penance, and it would have been okay.
Yeah, well, they might as well just brought out. I mean, if they were going to do a squash, they might as well brought out Spike Dudley or Mikey Whipwreck. I mean,
when it came down to it, it's just really like something like a Jeff Hardy match was like, all right, because even from the fans, all right, you pop, but this isn't going long, so okay, that makes sense. But Joe Hendry, a guy who you are definitely bringing in, because there's no way that they're not bringing him in. And the other thing too, if you're TNA, how you said before, like how you can't be happy about this, because you think about it. All right, so not only are we, we're giving you our talent to put on shows, everything like that, but then we're letting you poach 2 of our top talents. We're letting you poach them both with no resistance, because Joe Hendry's pretty much gone. That's a given. He is not staying there ever again. And then they got Jordan Gray. So you took the top female and male wrestler out of their company, but you're gonna bury, but you pulled this stunt tonight like that. That really, it's really a snake move that I didn't think that they would have gone and done at this stage. Whereas they're trying to clean that ending up.
Move, didn't it?
Yeah. Well, and that's the thing is if you're AAA, right? Because they announced that whole big thing, we got AAA now. We're gonna be running a show with them. I'd be afraid if I'm a AAA talent. Am I gonna get jobbed out here? Because this is gonna be stupid. I don't want to come out and just get made to look weak. We're partners now. We work together, right?
Yeah. Don't make me look like Phoenix.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's true.
They should have brought Jerry Briscoe out there. Just let him do it.
Anybody. I would have been fine with Barry Horowitz. Bring on old Barry, pat him on the back, let him take it to.
What's the guy's name? Dangerous Danny. What was his name? Dangerous Danny.
It's a Vince move.
It was totally we're joking around saying.
I think Troy has a good point though as well. You got to be thinking about the bigger picture as well, and. I don't know. I haven't understood since day one why they haven't made a legitimate WWE versus TNA pay-per-view to make up for the shambles that was the WCW invasion. Have a really good pay-per-view. And now they're doing it with the AAA out of nowhere. And they've been having this deal with TNA for ages. So it makes no sense to me.
It really didn't. It wasn't. It was really kind of a snake move where it's just what do we do? If you're TNA, you have to say, what did we do wrong? And the truth of the matter is, you trusted us. You shouldn't have done that because we have nothing to gain from you. We're giving you the exposure and, your guy's going down. So it's just sad that they had to agree to that.
Popper, is this a fact or is it just your opinion that they're buying TNA? Just your opinion? Yeah, okay. So, because I was going to say,
didn't TKO start investing in TNA already? Or something? Maybe I'm wrong. Never mind.
Do it similar with the NXT invasion from a few years back. Should have been Tiger Ali.
You're always saying, wow.
I was joking around with Matt. They should have brought out his dad and be like, son.
Cowboy Bob, yeah.
You didn't wash your dishes today. I'm going to hit you.
You'll never see Cowboy Bob Orton on WWE television again if The Undertaker has anything to say about it. Yeah. I'm telling you that right now. Give me hepatitis, you bastard. All right, moving on. The what I want to call the biggest FU of the night, and I just feel like I want to spit and throw up because how dare they put Logan Paul over my boy AJ Styles. But before we even go into that crap ending, let's talk about the entrances there. Yeah, g'day, my name's Logan Paul, and I've done a Shawn Michaels from the rooftops before, and the best they could come up with is multi-camera entrance and
a selfie stick.
And a selfie stick. What was with this entire match? It was crap through and through, in my opinion. Obviously, Logan Paul still does a couple of things that I'm impressed with, and I'm only impressed with them because he's not a wrestler. If he was a wrestler full-fledged, it would not be that impressive. It'd just be what a guy can do. But AJ Styles, dude, you don't have that much left in the tank, and you're taking an L to Logan freaking Paul?
Yeah.
What the hell?
Yeah, you know what I thought
I got a
about
lot
it
of notes on
was
this. They're not nice.
Logan Paul is talented, but I was mad too because Logan isn't not an everyday wrestler. If you guys know what I mean, right? Like he
Yeah,
doesn't
Absolutely.
go
I know what you mean. That's what we're
every
talking about.
Yeah, and
week.
Troy,
He doesn't.
and Troy, you've got a point. Don't get me wrong. I have been impressed with Logan Paul since day one.
Yeah,
But
I have too.
That doesn't mean he deserves a win at the biggest event of the year against one of the best wrestlers that has ever existed. I mean,
Yeah.
What I was saying is, I agree. He's not an everyday wrestler. He's talented, but he's not an everyday wrestler. And beating one of the best wrestlers of all time, give me a break. I was disappointed. I wanted AJ to win. I've been a fan of AJ. Yes, he doesn't have much left in the tank. But you're giving this guy who's a non-everyday wrestler a huge win at WrestleMania. And again, like I said, he's not an everyday wrestler. That's
Bleeker, you think Logan Paul is the future? I heavily disregard that, because do you really think Logan Paul's going to be doing this for another 10, 15 years?
No.
Nope.
No.
No way.
He's a tourist. I got a lot of notes on this. I don't know if I should go right now. I think I should go.
Go ahead.
A lot to say
I want to hear it. I want to hear it.
Okay, look. First off, AJ loses to a fucking part-timer. Bullshit.
There you go.
AJ loses to a guy who's a part-time YouTuber who bought his way into being in WWE because he's a major sponsor, in my opinion. I don't like Logan Paul being this suspicion. Yes, he's talented. Yes, I'm going to go off on a rant. And WWE screws AJ again.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania. This is bullshit, WWE, and you ought to be ashamed of yourself, Triple H. You better be lucky I ain't going to meet you on the street because it's on site.
Exactly what I was saying, man. They screwed AJ to a part-time wrestler. Keyword part-time.
So I'll say my thoughts on it. I mean, when it comes to Logan Paul, unfortunately for him, he is a natural when it comes to it. And really, I mean, I can go back to a couple of people that have been able to kind of expose the business on their first time out. Pat McAfee was also kind of a natural at it. He never had a match before, but he took Adam Cole to the limit. And it's just like, that should not happen because of the fact that, like, it makes all your guys look stupid. It's just like, you get back to, you know, and then it's just like, let's go back even further. It's like Lawrence Taylor going over on Bam Bam Bigelow at that WrestleMania. Again, another stupid thing that you did. It's like, well, like don't let part-timers, don't let these, I mean, don't let people that are like one-time attractions or part-time attractions beat your solid talent for the mere fact that you just want to have to go over it. I mean, and no disrespect to Logan Paul, he's you know, he is a natural at it, and yes, he's able to get there quicker. But it also kind of undermines the people that had to work all that time, especially a guy like AJ who's putting his dues everywhere, all around the world. It's just like, I mean, AJ needed this win. Logan Paul didn't. Logan Paul's got his podcast and everything else. He's got money rolling in that this is just something he does for fun, where AJ has dedicated everything to this. So yeah, this definitely should have been AJ's match.
And not all the old timers agree. Kevin Nash has said in person, he says the shit he's talked about, this shit, how easy it is. The boys in the back that are full time do not like shit like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's right. That's right. And before we go to the patient man once again sitting there quietly waiting for his moment, because I can see it in his face, Comic Bookaroo, we do want to give a massive shout out. They are our sponsors for each and every video. Let's hear a word from them.
Comic Bookaroo, proud sponsors of Aussieverse for all your comic book needs. Graphic novels, hardcovers, omnibuses, single issues. Don't forget to pre-order every Sunday at Comic Bookaroo.
Comic Bookaroo, Australia's #1 online comic book store with build-a-box options, and you get a free bag and board with every single issue you buy.
I'm
Rob,
gonna definitely have to
tell us your thoughts. I'm talking. Rob, please tell us your thoughts about the Logan Paul.
Thank you, Mr. Poe. I would say I would like to be almost the counter argument here for a second, because you guys are, I mean, I don't like Logan Paul, don't get me wrong, but the man puts in the work. It shows that he puts in the work. he puts on good matches. And at times during that match, I would almost say it looked at times that he was carrying the match. Now, you guys say that he's a part-time wrestler. Well, so is Roman Reigns. So is John Cena. So are so many of the boys in the back. Now, granted, they might have worked harder to get to that spot.
That's
but
right.
I get it. And Logan Paul has claimed that he's full-time, but he's not. I've said that many times on many shows about the fact that he doesn't show up on Mondays or whatever else.
Yeah.
But for this match, and even though he's putting in the work, and if he does, his execution is top notch.
Yeah, I know.
But it does show that he is part-time. He was breathing real hard by the time they got to the Clash exchange.
Yeah.
He was noticeably sucking air hardcore, needed an oxygen tank compared to AJ. Now, so I don't think it's as bad as everybody seems to think it is. I think that Logan Paul, he's probably only got a few more years before he gets bored with this and decides he wants to walk away, or his first big serious injury before he decides forget all this stuff. But man, what have you seen a lion salt 3/4 of the ring? It was a bad camera angle, unfortunately, didn't capture it very cleanly, but holy Toledo, it didn't look like he was going to make that. Then all of a sudden his body just kept moving through the air. I did make a note though throughout this match. I couldn't understand though why the announce team was sucking him off so hard, because Michael Cole, Wade Barrett, they were all going off about how great Logan Paul is, which was uncharacteristic to have your entire team basically trying to put him over. It almost felt like this is intended. They're saying, remember when we tried to put Rocky Maivia over and it failed so miserably? Let's try this to help continue to give Logan the heat he's getting by us trying to make it sound like we're forcing him on you as a skilled participant, which he is, though. As far as AJ, he was great in his day. I still think he's got some in here, but I think he's realistically, I hate to say it, I think he's at the part of his career where I don't see him as a viable championship contender anymore. He's there now to help develop and put over new talent, and that's his role now.
Yeah, I can see that.
I agree, Rob. I just think that AJ kind of deserved. He's going out. He's not got much longer. I felt he deserved his WrestleMania moment. And I'm not saying that Logan Paul doesn't work hard. I've been impressed with how quick he's caught on to it. I told you last night, he's took to it like a duck to water. But I feel like if you're going to be in it, you need to be in it full time. It's like I can quote this rap song. There's no such thing as halfway crooks. So either if you're going to do it, try to commit to full time. If you've not got that much time, I know he's got a lot of irons in the fire, but show up. That's all.
I'd love to have him show up more often and do some stuff. I mean, he's gonna be, if Dom goes face, he's gonna be your biggest heel you've got.
Absolutely.
From a crowd reaction standpoint.
Papa, did you want AJ to win or Logan? I'm curious who you would have wanted to have won that match. Oh, sure, I get yelled at and Rob gets nothing. Well, Bleeker, the invite's there, mate. So you could have hopped on the show. That's all I'm saying.
It's because Bleeker's only able to answer in 2 sentences at a time on these things, and people jump in and jump on you before you get full thought out. Whereas I had the benefit of uninterrupted time to.
But I wasn't yelling
sound
at
out
my rant was directed at Triple H. That's who I was yelling at. Or whoever put the match.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he's taken some minor stuff. That's his first major injury though would be the.
Poor Karrion Kross though, huh? That's your WrestleMania moment, baby. You poor bastard. You're on there for 2 seconds offering advice.
Yeah,
I don't get that. Why even have him there at that point? It was just,
I do love that spot a little bit though, just because he's like, take the Nux and hit him in the face, and the ref's just standing right there, like, please don't take the Nux and hit him in the face. Like, I'm gonna disqualify if you do that. But like that was funny. I laughed at that. I thought that was hilarious. Carry across. I want him to do something. Like I'm sick and tired of him being just kind of like the devil on the shoulder and being like, hey guy, why don't you do this thing for me? Like he's so underutilized. It's like, give him something, or make him a manager. Do something with him. Because you're wasting his talent. He's doing absolutely nothing.
I agree.
First of all, Troy, I don't think webcam in the year 2025 matters because you can use your phone. And I don't know why you're saying this face for radio, because are you saying that we're all beautiful men? Because that's not what I'm saying. Some of us need a bit of work.
I need to be wearing a luchador mask.
Really, the best looking person on here was the guy who actually was in radio.
I was in radio too, actually, Rob, for 2 years.
Well. Okay, so Popper wanted AJ. Okay, well, that's a shame for you, Popper, and me, and everybody else out there. I'm effing ugly, but I'll come on. Okay, well, fair enough. Oh, here we go. We have Reverend Fingerblaster.
What's going on, guys? How you doing, man?
What's up, Lee?
Before we moved on to the next match, did you want to drop something on the Logan Paul AJ Styles front?
I think Logan Paul's an awesome wrestler, and he might be part-time. He claims to be full-time. He might be part-time. I can see him going for another 10 years. Absolutely. I think as you can't, he's too old to continue a career on YouTube. It's just not going to work out for him on YouTube as long as you think it's gonna. So this is his future plan. He's making millions. I think he's going to be around for a few years yet. That being said, I don't like Logan Paul. I hate Logan Paul. I hate Jake Paul, and I wish they would go away. But he's pretty good at what he does, man. He's pretty good at it.
That's true.
Yeah, it sucks when somebody you want to hate is good at what they're doing.
Yeah.
It's like you're fuck, man. Why are you so good? It'd be so much easier to hate you if you just sucked.
It really would be awesome.
You start to, he's like an asshole heel when he's with the Four Horsemen all through the 80s, but after a while, you just grow to respect him.
Well, so, and you get a guy like this who comes in, and this is where the WWF or WWE, I should say, has pulled a couple where they've been, some of the ones they've had celebrities come in, and the celebrity puts in some work and learns a couple things, and the talent does a really good job of helping to make them look, really help them look good. Yeah. This is not that case here with
it's not
AJ with Logan Paul at this point.
Yeah, you're right.
There's not. This is, like I said, during this match at times it looked like it was the other way around. So,
and I hate to say it, but wrestling gets so many views. It's always gotten so many views. You can go count the views it always gets, but Logan Paul gets those views just by himself on his own channel. Yeah. He brings a lot of eyes to wrestling. I hate to say it. He fucking sucks when he brings new eyes to wrestling as well.
Yeah. Well, you know what? I think you should, but if you focus on being a full-time wrestler and didn't part-time do crypto rug pulls on people, maybe,
oh my God,
maybe it would be better.
Yeah, you might be right, brother. You might be right. I'm done with Logan Paul.
Can I confirm in saying that everybody here is in agreement again that we're not happy that Logan Paul won?
Yeah. No. Yes. 100%. I agree. AJ needed this win.
Yeah, AJ probably did need it more than Logan Paul. But I don't care one way or the other because I didn't care about the match. The buildup was pathetic. Yeah, again, it was one of these matches where, as a guy who watches this stuff, and I'm invested more in the story. Yeah, you have a poor story buildup. No matter how good the match is, it can't exceed the match buildup.
Yeah, it was rushed. It was kind of slapped together. It's like, all right, you know what? Well, why don't we just fight at WrestleMania then? Okay, simple. Yeah. Like I really don't have a problem with you, but yeah, no problem. I'll fight you at WrestleMania.
Speaking of thrown together, though, so not only did we have a thrown together women's tag team tournament to get challengers for a tag team division that is lackluster as hell, but apparently it's been in the works for weeks that Bayley wasn't actually going to be Valkyria's partner, and so they had her kayfabe injured the other night. And who is it going to be? Could it have been? I was talking about this in one of the chats. Could it have been anybody other than Becky Lynch? When you start to really piece things together,
I was happy to see Becky Lynch.
I would have preferred it being anybody other than Becky Lynch.
The only other person,
Becky Lynch.
The only person I would have suspected it to be, other than Becky Lynch, would have been Alexa Bliss. That's the only other person I would have been like. I would have said, okay.
So as I was saying, once you put the pieces together of that, Liv was the one who put supposedly retired Becky, and the fact that Becky Lynch had this relationship with Valkyria, with them being the Irish lasses and the friendship and everything, that the mentorship that they had built up, all these things just went together too well. Whereas the Alexa Bliss, even though she's teased there, there's nothing from a story. There's no story element whatsoever for that. It becomes why would you pull Bailey out on purpose and have it in your plans for weeks to put Bliss in randomly, versus at least Lynch makes sense that this is what your ultimate goal is, that you're trying to hide from everybody Becky's return. Hence the whole fake story of Bailey going to be the champion until the end there.
Plus, what is the plan now? You've got Valkyrie 2 belts. What's going to happen now? Like, what is the point? Like, she barely defends her IC title as it is, and now she's going to be. Is there going to be any IC defends now, or is it all going to be about the women's title?
I would expect that she's going to defend the IC still, mostly because Becky's probably going to work a veteran schedule, and there's really not much in the tag team division. Who's waiting for them in the women's tag team division? We talked about this last night briefly, where I said the best thing that they could do is have Io drop the belt so that she and Kairi Sane get back together or whatever. And so you had somebody who could take those tag team belts and take it on a run for an extended period of time and make those belts mean something, bring some prestige to them with a tag team that was solid, not some thrown together team. Instead, we're in a situation where we still have nothing for that tag team division. So who cares?
I also think maybe this is going to be just a transition title hold.
Well, let's go over some of the people that in the chat people have suggested, right? First of all, we've got Asuka. Now, I think that would have been great. We know that she's due back any moment. Alexa Bliss is being held off until they've done their whole storyline with Wyatt 6. Nikki Bella, I believe, was pitched at some point for something to do with WrestleMania, but it was rejected. Mariah May is still under contract, so that's a no. Trish Stratus, God, no. We do not ever need to see Trish Stratus back again unless she somehow gets rid of her new face and comes back with her old one. Then fine, I will accept Trish back. But until that happens, I don't know who that girl is.
You looked at her face?
Trish, she's got like a whole new face.
I said, but you look at her face?
Tony Storm's just a fantasy booking on my head.
I was going to say, Tony Storm, that would have been great. But still under contract.
Yeah, I know. That's fantasy booking.
Velvet
AJ Lee would
McIntyre.
have been good.
Yeah, that was fun.
Velvet McIntyre.
Velvet McIntyre wrestled in like the 70s and 80s. I just felt I just saw people just throwing names out. I was like, let me throw.
Should have dug up Fabulous Moolah and rolled her out there.
I think the other name that I don't see in here that I did see somebody float out in one of the chat rooms was Britt Baker. And again, none of those things make sense from a storyline perspective. This is the only storyline move that made sense.
But
AJ Lee, no way in hell it would have been.
I saw it in the chat earlier. The real headline and star of this match was Liv Morgan's costume.
What I did make a note. Actually, I did have a note here that said, "Is Liv Taylor going to be the first woman to accidentally have show her nether region?" because she habitually comes up with shorter and shorter and thinner.
I thought she was wearing a thong.
At some point, there's just not going to be enough material there when she gets pinned and a leg gets pulled back.
I said the same thing to Claudia.
Yeah,
I said every week her shorts get shorter
and shorter. It was like almost
dental floss,
borderline G-string.
Yeah. Someone's going to be
yodeling
going to
be showing a miracle smile any moment for sure.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, I'm here for it. I hope it. I'm like, please.
Hey, look, and going back to bad mouthing Trish, I'm sorry, but I don't think she deserves the accolades that she's gotten of being the all-time best and greatest. And the best thing she ever did was bark like a dog for Vince McMahon. That's my opinion.
Well, that was a different era. Unfortunately, it's really unfortunate what those ladies had to go through.
Yeah, that's true, Rob.
So I won't knock any of them. Any of them that made any kind of career, being able to pass anything that looked sort of like wrestling and get the opportunity to put on decent matches during that era. Hats off to them, because it was just
Trish was gorgeous. She was gorgeous,
sure.
And then
all those ladies were.
Her face.
Those women are tough, man. They put up with a lot of fucking nonsense from a male.
Yeah. Anyways, I mean, ladies get work done. Sometimes it doesn't work out for them, right, Charlotte?
That was an awful match. I hated that match.
Yeah,
right.
It was bad, bro.
So anyways, on to this match, as we were talking about. So we had this lead up into this thing. I'm going to go first this time because I'm talking. So decent overall. The match itself, decent. Nothing special. Nothing I won't expect from a Monday night or a Saturday night or Friday night performance, whatever. It was an unexpected outcome, only from the fact that I didn't expect them to put 2 belts on Lyra, but then again, they're putting a belt on Becky so she can have a belt and not have to face one of these champions for right now. And but it definitely brought down the match. The performances within the match definitely brought down, after having had that great triple threat match. It just brought this back to yesterday's level, almost. Not quite as bad, but close to it. So it was a big letdown. And then, of course, I had to note about, I wonder if Liv will expose herself. That's all I have for this match.
I'm glad to see Raquel Rodriguez. I mean, I know that they matched with the red, but I'm glad that Raquel has stopped dressing like a Rhea Ripley clone, which I'm not saying is her fault. I'm sure that's behind the scenes doing that. But Raquel's pretty good, man, and I think she deserves. She didn't even have her own entrance.
I was to say you talk about she deserves her own ring music.
Yeah, decent match. Except Liv's outfit.
It's definitely interesting to see Liv, who once was once the afterthought of the Riot Squad, to see that she's the A star today.
And you know why though? It's because of, well, maybe not because of Rhea, but it's because of that storyline, man. You have moments in time that people would not be where they are today if it wasn't for that one moment in time. Becky Lynch would not be where she is today if it wasn't for that Nia Jax punch to the face and showing herself being as tough as hell. Liv is where she is today because of the whole Liv Revenge tour starting out at Rhea Ripley as well. And that's where I feel sorry for other talent out there, because it's got to do with the writing. It's not about your skill. It's whether you can get that storyline. Sami Zayn, he was suffering for years, and then all of a sudden he makes a joke about that's not very Usi, and all of a sudden Sami Zayn is now one of the goats on Raw. Like, where did this come from?
Daniel Bryan for years, he got beaten like at WrestleMania, like in 15 seconds by Sheamus once.
For Dwayne's mentioning how dumb Lyra's wings were. If she's a Valkyrie, well, she's actually not a Valkyrie, because that Valkyrie would be Norse. She's Valkyria, whatever. It's supposed to be an Irish goddess or something, where it's supposed to be a crow. So still, the white wings make no sense. Because it's supposed to be a crow or a raven or whatever you want to call it, but it's it's really weird with the white wings. That was for sure. She looked more like what's the sorceress in He-Man?
Yeah, I was gonna say that looked like the sorceress from He-Man. Because like, all right.
Popper, what is it you're disagreeing about? Because we've just spat a lot out in the last minute, and I lost track of what you're disagreeing about. Writing is 100% the biggest thing. Absolutely, man.
Yeah,
I had another example. I that I lost it. With people only being good because of that one storyline.
Writing's important, but your wrestlers and their promos, if they just don't cut it, like sadly, Rhea Ripley is one of the best women's wrestlers I've ever seen, and listening to her talk, I'm like, oh, I'm sorry.
I say that I said it last night. You have, as a wrestler, needs to have 2 out of 3 things. You need to have a look. You need to be able to wrestle. You need to have charisma. You need to have at least minimum of 2 of those things in order to get by long term. 3 of them if you want to be great. But if you only have 1, your time is limited. And I'm talking to you, Jade.
Jade.
Yeah, she's got the
I
look.
agree with you there, Warren. Just quickly, just going around the table, I just want a simple thumbs up or a thumbs down. We'll start with Heroes for Hire. Sami Zayn, thumbs up or thumbs down?
In what context?
Just is he good or is he not good? Does he deserve to be better? Does he deserve to be in the mid card? Just thumbs up or down.
I don't think he goes any higher than like IC division.
He doesn't.
But I like him. I mean, I liked him back in Ring of Honor when he did that whole luchador.
Generico.
And I like him, but he's never going to go past mid card.
He doesn't have a thing. Like, he's Sami Zayn. Yay, Sami Zayn. Woo, you're awesome, Sami Zayn. I don't know. He doesn't have a, like, there's no, there's nothing memorable about Sami Zayn. He's awesome.
I agree. Yeah.
I liked him better.
I'm kind of like it's in the middle.
I will give him a thumbs up. I'm an El Generico guy. I love Sammy. I thought Sammy was great in Ring of Honor. I think he's been great. I do think that his only window to have been world champion was when he feuded with Roman Reigns, and it didn't happen, obviously. So it's just like I don't see him as a world champion, but I mean he's got that talent. He can have good matches with just about anybody, and I guess for him, he's one of those guys that just proves that he's tough all the time. So that's his thing, is that like he can have a good match with anybody. You know, if you want to be stiff with him, he's fine. He's very athletic. He can, do a lot of different moves that will get you to kind of come out of your seat. And he's a great guy to see chase a champion. Winning it doesn't really do it for him, but by having him chase a champion, he's amazing.
Yeah, I mean, he's definitely one of those guys. Like, if you're drafting a team, you're drafting a mid round. You want to have him on your roster because you can do so many things with him. But no, he's at this stage of his career, he's mid card. He's a mid card guy. I thought he was personally much better. I enjoyed him during his intercontinental runs, when he was, the tactician, and he was the heel, and he was always trying to slime his way out of everything. And I thought that was almost far more interesting than his current. I'm doing my best Foley dress for work impersonation. I don't know. I mean, it's like,
well, he's out, but he is a good worker though in the ring, and he does make, especially when he's doing against a big guy. He knows how to take a lot of punishment and make it look good, like he's getting the shit beat out of him, which is what a smaller guy is supposed to do against the bigger guy. So I do like him in that sense. But I don't think he's ever going to be past mid.
Vogs, thumbs up or thumbs down, sir?
I'm not going to do a thumbs up, thumbs down. I'm agreeing with the other guys. He's not going to be fighting for a title, I think, anytime soon. But he is a mid-card guy, and he's a guy you would love on your team. He can fight with the best of them, but he's, to me, only a mid-card guy now.
Papa says, I love Jay, but if Jay can get a world title, which is deserved, Sammy can carry a world title too. Yeah, and it's hard to argue that logic, I've got to admit.
Whoa. There's easy to argue with that logic. Jay doesn't deserve it.
Well, yeah, but I'm going with the logic that if he does deserve it. then
But he doesn't.
anybody
That's what
does.
he's saying. Yeah.
I don't know. I think an entire 60,000 people said he did deserve it. They
That's true.
popped hard, bro. They popped hard for that.
They
guy.
pop because they're sheep and
Jay
they
a
like
lot.
to dance.
Hey,
Jay doesn't
man.
deserve.
It's-
You know,
does he,
I'll
how many
I'll be-
T-shirts
I'm
is
happy
he
with
selling? He's selling more T-shirts than
I
anyone else.
get
That's
that
what's
he's doing
going
that,
on.
and but how long is that really going to last?
I don't know.
see
That's a
that.
good
but
question.
how long did LA Knights last?
That's true.
Yeah, that's
And
true.
he's a
But
great
Jay's
wrestler. I
lasted
actually
longer than
love
LA
him.
Knight
Hey,
has.
no, yeah.
You
LA
know, there
Knight
is a good
really
there is a
good.
good point though that if you versus the crowd there, their response versus the thumbs down on any Jey Uso video of him winning the Royal Rumble and all that, the thumbs downs are twice as many.
It was
than the thumbs
divisively
up.
big.
Yeah, that's true. That's
It was
true.
Jay. I don't think he does. I don't think he should be champion. I don't think that he. I have nothing against him as a. I think he's a great tag team wrestler. I don't think there's a reason to separate their tag teams all the damn times. I know the WWE loves to do it, but there's sometimes, you know what, you have two guys that are great and elevate a division versus splitting them off and having one guy who becomes a star and the other one has to go into mediocrity. That's just silly.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
moving on.
going back to my thing, I don't know if Jay has, he's got, does he, when he talks and does his promo, I don't think he has the charisma. I think he can get out there and his dance and his music gets people excited. But once you hand him the mic and you shut that off,
You're not completely wrong. It's just he's so over. It's ridiculous. He's like, it's ridiculous watching the crowd eat and do all the hand stuff and pretty crazy.
Yeah, until he has to perform.
That's fair.
All right,
That's fair.
moving on to the last match. Moving on to the last match of the night. Before we do go on to that, though, there is two other things I do want to address. One being that ridiculous ad that they
For drumsticks?
Cena, where Cena's the heel now, and in the ad he's the original
face.
John Cena, smiling the whole way.
I have that written down on my notes.
I'm sure.
My notes say drumsticks. Ad seems odd, featuring a heel as campy face roll.
Yeah, that drumstick thing was so.
I think it was
stupid.
obvious that this commercial was obviously, I think, filmed before he turned heel.
Yeah, but why show it? Like,
I don't
come
know.
on.
I don't understand. I'm not saying it's a good
Hey,
thing.
Rob,
John Cena turns around and gives a kid a nightmare for the rest of his life where he's going to need therapy, and all of a sudden he wants him to buy some drumsticks?
Man.
Come on.
yeah, that drumstick thing was so stupid. Hey, let's sponsor ice cream.
But he has talent.
Okay, well, then the only other thing that I wanted to address before the main event was the announcement of their new docu-series on Netflix, which I'm actually a little excited about. Rob does
Really?
not seem to be. WWE Unreal, which is going to go into the writer's room. As soon as they announced that, I saw the old GIF of Vince McMahon. You know, like, he would never have allowed a show like that to have been made. Tell me, come on, hit me up. What do you think about this?
There's certain shows I don't mind, but at the end of the day, I'm not sure I need a reality show about writing and the back and what goes into it and how they're going to build up. The problem is they're going to end up building up, trying to inject drama into it. So they're going to build up like little comments that one wrestler says to another, trying to make a politicking, and they're going to end up building up negativity backstage inadvertently in the course of trying to build drama for the show, and it's going to backfire. The same reason that AEW tried doing their backstage pass thing, and all it did, it turned into infighting, and they canned that shit real fast because it was caused more negativity than the benefit of the show.
100% agree, Rob.
I
I want to say
very
Total Divas caused some strife too between people, because I remember there was a point in time where Summer Rae got a lot of heat for shit she was saying on the show, during the little confessional parts, and they're like, "Bitch, what are you talking about? Like, why are you saying this about?" You know what I mean? Like it actually bled over into. So yeah, I think you leave that part out of it, but I don't know. They want to put on shows, okay, entertain, but
I think it's gonna. They've got to be very, very careful, because
absolutely.
We know the issues with writing, and for them, I doubt they're going to expose that, because that's just going to make them look dumb.
I hope not. That'd be bad.
I don't know.
How is this show going to go down?
Has anybody watched a reality show? And do you honestly think they're reality shows?
Yeah, well, that's true, Blake. That's true.
It's going to be part of the kayfabe, no doubt. It's going to be all bullshit, and it's going to make us think other things about wrestling, and it's meant to lead you astray. I would imagine. I would hope. If it's really going to go into the writers' room, I think that's a real bad idea to do that.
Warren, my friend's kid cried from the main event. Like, literally, it was brutal. Oh, wow. The star. Effing Matthew the Writer and his damn trophy wife, Stephanie. All right, let's go to the main event. This is the one where Rob gets all excited about.
Idiot.
And then we have me and the two.
Oh, my.
Like Cliff, where they're... And I get really excited. It is John Cena versus Cody Rhodes, baby. The world title, the night 2 ending of WrestleMania. How do we feel about this one, ladies and gentlemen? Because I was not impressed.
Yeah.
The finish was bad.
Yeah.
It was a bad finish.
I think they just... Okay, so... first off, Bo, I want you to play that clip before we end the show again, the one where you're like that. It's my favorite clip ever. Number 2, I think they did it as a service because it is Cena's farewell season, his farewell tour. It's and they want him to break the record at his last WrestleMania. So I think it was just to do fan service.
Cena of all people.
It was John Cena.
It was to get more eyes on wrestling, just because they know that that's going to be a mainstream story picked up by like ESPN. It's like, the longest, the most championships has now been broken after all this time, and Ric Flair is not the top guy anymore. So it was mainly for that. The other thing I'll say about it is that the ending. The finish was. I was not a fan of the finish, and I will also say this: they did a really bad job of trying to keep it to the point where you didn't know, because it got exposed. It got exposed badly. I would say definitely throughout this week, where you have the fact that the wrestling podcasts and everything like that. John Cena is advertised for all these things, and Cody Rhodes is not. Cody Rhodes is not advertised for anything going forward in these next few shows. We think that Cena is going to win this one. And then it came out, I want to say 3 days ago, 3 or 4 days ago, it came out that they were having a John Cena WrestleMania Las Vegas belt. I'm like, dude, I was like, you might as well just say he's winning. I mean, and then the commentary did the same exact thing. Oh, Cena's looking like that. He's a huge underdog tonight. It's like, all right, that's all they needed.
And then sorry, one last thing I'm going to say. That whole thing with Travis Scott was stupid.
Yeah.
Like we're all waiting. We're waiting, and we're like, okay, who's going to appear? Is it going to be The Rock? Is it going to be someone else interfering? Oh, look who it is! Like, I'm talking to Matt backstage. Matt and I are talking on this backstage hangout, just him and I and a few of our other friends, and I'm like, who is this? And they're like, introducing Travis Scott, and I'm like, why him?
I expected Travis Scott to come out at some point, because you knew Cody was going to get that receipt. What I am shocked at is why they brought him out, because it was pointless. And 2, I would have put money down. Thank God I didn't. I would have put money down on The Rock being in this main event.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Where's
Go ahead, Rob. I'm sorry.
Where's the WrestleMania event? Where's the WrestleMania moment? Is Paul Heyman hitting a couple of bags? That's the moment that we get. That's it. That's all we get.
Yeah.
We didn't get The Rock. We didn't get a celebrity jumping in. We didn't get, I don't know, some old timey wrestler. We got Stone Cold. Finally, we got Stone Cold, and you know what he did? He went, "Hey guys, there's this many people in the building. Thanks," and he almost killed a couple people in the front row.
Yeah,
I know.
But you know, like
he goosed a little too much around that corner and just totally.
Yeah. It was awesome to see Stone Cold. It would have been more awesome to see him give someone a stunner or I don't know, stop The Rock from jumping in the match or being on John Cena's side, maybe turning total heel and actually giving Cody the stunner, whatever, man. It would have been awesome. Something.
Yeah.
So my issues with this match, one was, man,
go ahead,
did they make Cody look like a fucking chump?
Yes.
I mean, what was it? Maybe a 25-75 match?
Yeah.
So it was not good at all. I mean, if that, okay, well, if Cena's getting this much ahead, then maybe they're actually going to let, Cena take a dive. He'll do the job and put Cody over, and you will get, and it makes sense then at least, right? But no, and you knew once the referee gets knocked out, it was like, okay, well, now we know what's going to happen. So, but if you're going to bring Travis Scott down, and that's fine, why is he getting a fucking goddamn slow walk down the ramp?
Exactly.
Well, your poor champ is sitting there having to sell this move now for 2 minutes. Will you saunter down there because your pants might fall down or whatever else is going on? I mean, geez.
Because they got him backstage, Rob. They're like, Travis, we still got 25 minutes for this match to go on. Take it slow, bro.
Yeah.
Take it
slow. Why couldn't he just been sitting ring?
Me blunts before he walked out there. He was
John Cena looks like he might die out there. Take it slow,
He could have been
bro.
just sitting ringside like normal and have him hop over the rail or something. It would have been so much better. But that was just like, oh bother! Here comes Eeyore, and then
exactly.
Then what? Then he pulls the referee out, and the referee doesn't. There's no DQ.
Yeah,
I mean, it's mind-boggling the glass jaws that these referees have. First of all, but he gets pulled out, and now he's knocked out cold for 2 minutes. And when he comes to, he doesn't go, "Hey, I've been pulled out and knocked out by somebody who wasn't in the ring. I should end this match with disqualification." No, I'm going to go ahead. I'm just going to count it. What the hell? It was a weak ending. It was even if it was predictable that Cena was going to do this from a storyline perspective. It's just, it was done making Cody look like a bitch. I mean, and maybe that's your whole point, is to try to build and for the next match down the road with them is this whole young, like, oh, you were his young boy, and making him like I saw my hero, my mentor, and I just crumbled beneath the weight of the moment, but I'm going to overcome because that's a hero's journey, I think.
You're on it, Rob. You're definitely on it.
I have a Facebook group. Western group called the Chair Shot, and one of my members was not too happy. I was going to start out with my comments on see what he said. Motherfuck John Cena, fuck Triple H, fuck everyone who signed off on this, including Flair if he okayed it. Fucking trash. That's a lot to say, but that's not my opinion. By the way, that's not my opinion. But I didn't like this.
How does he really feel? Does he?
No, really. Travis Scott, who, by the way, when he came out, I mistakenly called him Tony Scott, who directed Top Gun. Travis Scott comes out, he swatters down. Maybe he should have borrowed Stone Cold's 4-wheeler or something. Could have got down there a little bit faster. Maybe they could have got one of them little mini rings and brought him down in like Andre the Giant and Bobby the Brain Heenan, WrestleMania 3. It's like they make Cody look like he was like a amateur wrestler in there against John Cena. Had never been in a big match before. And then where's the Rock at? I don't know. I don't understand that. Last year we had Rock, we had all those guys come down there. And look, I don't have a problem with Cena going over. I know that they wanted to get him to 17 times, surpass John Cena, but do you have to make Cody, as Rob said, look like a freaking bitch?
Yeah.
Was it that important?
And I'm not a Cody guy. I don't even care for Cody. But
worse than that, I think the most over the top and stupid thing that led to the finish being what it was, so you have all that shit, and then you have they wrestle for the belt. Cena's gonna hit him with it. They wrestle. Cody wrestles away from him, and then Cena, who's been giving you shit for all this, through interviews and everything else. I'm gonna knock your head off. Like I hate you and everything you stand for. Please, Cody, please don't hit me with the belt. And Cody's gonna
I know.
Should I do it?
And then he hits him in the balls.
Like, what are you doing,
hey, Chris?
And then, they need to invest in cups. If nothing else, told you if anybody in a main event, if you're a babyface or in between something of that nature, invest in. I mean, it was the year of the nut shot. The two main events were decided by nut shots. Unbelievable.
My other criticism of the match is all this big stand up. They just sit there. They start taking their time, and then they're doing chain wrestling.
Yeah,
Cody got attacked by this guy, stabbed in the back. Him and Travis Scott and The Rock bushwhacked him, Pearl Harbored him, destroyed him, and he goes out there. You would think he'd get out there and go, "I can't wait to get my hands." As soon as the bell rings, he starts swelling on him. That's how it should have went. That's how it should have started.
As wrestling fans, is it that important to you all? Is it that important to y'all that he's now the GOAT? Like, is John Cena? Was it so important that John Cena win his 17th title? Oh my God! Thank God it's John Cena.
It's not for
the especially since you always had the argument that there's two different arguments out there. So one is, first of all, Ric Flair won other titles. But then there's the argument that but John Cena did it all in one company. So either way is fine. They can both be argued as goats, and I don't think you needed to go. Why did you have to try to break it? But I mean, this is just
John Cena of all people. I know they probably wanted to get it off of Flair because it's Ric Flair.
He's old,
doing,
but
he's doing what he's doing right now. He's not a very good ambassador. So
Cena's been a company guy, and he's always been that company guy, and that's probably why ultimately that this goes into it all. But at the end of the day, I don't need to see him do it, because you know what? Cena's majority of his reign was a period of time where I actually wasn't watching wrestling. I had stopped during that time. So when I came back, into wrestling, Cena was kind of finishing up his shtick, and so I never saw a lot of stuff until I go back and watch highlight reels. So I don't care.
I did have to point out Dwayne's World's comment. Like, I found it really weird that they're like, "Oh, he's now the GOAT," and I'm like,
"Right, you've been calling him the GOAT forever."
A million times, Michael Cole saying that he's the greatest of all time. Like, what the hell?
It's so that's what I wanted to say. That has $200 billion. Does he really need $200 billion more dollars? How much would he need? It's like, how many titles does he need to be called the GOAT? I mean, he already has 16, which is up there right with Ric Flair.
The other thing,
play that happy clip later again.
What I wanted to say, like what Bleak is kind of missing it a little bit, is that it's not about the fans don't give a shit about that. It's what they want to. They want this to be. They want basically all the news from Monday morning coming from all these different outlets to be.
No, I get that. John Cena's
so it's not. It wasn't really about the fans. But that's the thing. It's like they kind of overlooked the fans and the reaction that they would get. Like if you're gonna do something like this, it had to be done in a better way, and they didn't do that. They just kind of threw it. They just kind of gave it to us in this way, shape, and it's just like it doesn't really work well. It looks kind of lazy. Like you did it in a lazy way, and now you just kind of hope that it.
We're supposed to be. You're supposed to be placated by the fact that Cena had like a 10 count, or was down for a 10 count. Essentially with no ref. I mean, still you didn't make. That was almost like a fluke thing. You didn't make him look strong. I thought the other note that I had from this match that was weird to me, just really genuinely bizarre, was Wade Barrett during this was was anti-heel.
Yeah.
It's like, why was what was that all about? All of a sudden,
yes,
because
it's very strange.
Where did the color commentary go? There's none.
And I definitely agree with what was said before, where it's like, like Cody got jumped and betrayed. Like he should have been ready to go and fight, and he wasn't. He was like, the fact that you would give this guy a reprieve, like, oh, I don't know if I should really hit you with this. No, I think I should hit you. You know what I mean? It's just like, I mean. And then that's the thing, is like they're trying so hard to make Cody seem like he's so virtuous that he couldn't possibly break the rules. Like, no, let him break the rules.
And after what John Cena did to him, he should have just smashed him with a chair like 15 times. But I agree with Papa about we expect all these people to come out every year if they keep doing it. But Travis Scott, that's like wanting a chicken salad sandwich and getting a sandwich with chicken shit on it.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I just think that it could have been executed better. I don't even need a lot of run-ins. Like, just give me a match that makes sense. Give me a finish that makes sense, and give me don't make the guy just the prince of virtue all of a sudden, where he can't possibly get his hands dirty. It's like, we've seen you be a heel before. Like, we know that you have it in you, and you're you're completely justified to take matters into your own hands because of the fact that this guy has done all these underhanded things to you. Do you think that people are not going to like you if you just do this? Or even if you try to hit him with the belt, misses, and then Cena scoops him and hits him with an AA. Okay, that works. He tried to go the bad guy route, and it backfired on him because it's not there's no way of doing things. But nope.
Dwayne,
I didn't hate the whole match.
Oh.
The whole match wasn't bad. It was just the lead up and the reasons why, and I don't know. I didn't love it. It didn't scream WrestleMania to me. It was all right,
Yeah. Do you know what I was actually expecting to see in this match, other than The Rock? Because they made such an emphasis on Cena not being able to wrestle in the previous promos, I fully expected, and especially because it's his last WrestleMania, I expected Cena to be able to actually pull out some moves that we hadn't seen or done some actual wrestling. So I was quite shocked that Cena was just Cena throughout the whole thing.
Well, let's say that's one thing. I hope that Gunther was paying attention on how you can take a submission hold and fight it for more than 3 seconds.
Oh yeah,
because wow, in the only strength that Cody showed, he showed that he can survive an STF for quite a bit, while the other champion, who was supposed to be so great, couldn't survive a chokehold for 2.5 counts.
Yeah. And I wonder, I almost kind of wonder if he's like, if in a weird twist of logic there, where it's just like, well, it's my finisher, and it's so devastating that not even I can take it. I have to protect my sleeper finisher and tap in because it's just like, I have to really go, like, I actually want to go back and watch some Jey Uso highlights and be like, how many times has he actually done a submission move? Let alone a sleeper, just a submission move.
Maybe
I don't
once.
think I've seen him do it.
He might have done in his fight during his rivalry with Roman Reigns. He might have done the Roman Reigns freaking chokehold thing, whatever.
Oh, but, okay. Well, I mean,
might have. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, it's just.
It didn't work.
Not Travis Scott thing worked because of Travis being there with Cena during the turn.
I understand that. That I get. I just, and I'm not disappointed that he came out. I think that the execution of the match had nothing to do with Travis Scott. Really, it just was the fact that the way that they ended that match was just stupid. It could have been done better.
Travis Scott's not a threat to people. Like, he's not like a wrestler. I
have a question.
Yeah.
What's the over under? If I said 3, would you go over or under the number of times we're going to see John Cena before SummerSlam?
Oh, that's a tough one. I would say honestly, I think 3 would be the max, if that.
Yeah, 3's a lot.
I kind of think you see him like maybe once or twice. I mean, because do vignettes and stuff count as seeing him, or does he have to actually be?
No, I mean, he's on TV. He's either on TV to be at the event. Yeah, so he's going to come down to the ring. So like, obviously, he'll probably be there for Monday night, right? This Monday is probably one. After that, you got obviously, I don't expect to see him at Backlash. I think that becomes a paid event without that championship being defended. So the next time it's going to be done is probably at the 2-night SummerSlam. So that means, will you see him 2 more times to build any kind of story for that match?
I want to say maximum you'll get 3. I would definitely say.
Dwayne says over 3.
So I'm going under. I don't think you see him more than 3 times.
Yeah, I'm going under as well.
Under.
I'd say 2 tops.
I guess I should do it right. Hold on, let me do it right. So let me do it true football fashion. It's 3.5. Over or under at 3.5.
Oh no, under. Absolutely.
That way you can take 3.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're going to take the over. Okay.
Yeah, I'm going to take the
over. Under.
Okay. So Bo, I disagree with you. I think that I would be surprised, and I am willing to put some treats on the line for this. So
let's see what these treats are.
Okay.
I don't know. I know the type of stuff Bo likes, and Bo can figure out what kind of stuff I like. We'll figure it out here. I've sent him some hot sauces.
Hey, I've been saying for a while now, Rob, that
you want my barbecue sauce.
You have a receipt coming in a good way. I owe you a box of sauces because for those that don't know, Rob sent me a box, not just 1 or 2, but a box of chili sauces that I absolutely loved and appreciated. And I can't imagine how much that cost.
Remaining.
Well,
I can't imagine how much that costs sending sauces to Australia.
Here's what I'll do, Bo. Bo, if you win, if you get if he shows up more than 4, then I will get you a jar of the FYR sauce.
Okay.
For those that don't know, I make my own barbecue sauce. One of the things, and one of those sauces that I make in very limited supply is called FYR Fire. It's my fire sauce. It stands for "Fuck You, Rob," because that's what people generally say when they consume it, because it is fucking legit burn your ass, but it tastes really freaking good, which is the problem. So, So, Bo, I will make a batch and I will send you some. If you hit the over.
Is someone
I will be getting some of Rob's special sauce. Yes, I will, Alan. And what pray tell do I have to send you, sir?
Australian Cadbury dairy milk.
Oh, okay. Well, mine's a lot cheaper. I don't think chocolate's going to cost that much to send over.
You can, but you can send me a cup. You don't have to send me just one.
Rob, are you writing this bet down?
Oh, we'll remember. I love Cadbury dairy milk that's not made in the U.S.
Hey, by the way, Bo, when we go backstage, I want to see that clip again. That was my favorite. We've
heard you, Bob.
So just to reiterate, if we see Cena 4 more times for the rest of the year.
No, before SummerSlam.
Oh, before SummerSlam. Oh shit, I wasn't listening properly.
Oh.
Okay. No, I'm still sticking to it.
SummerSlam is less than the rest of the year.
Yeah, I know. I'm sticking to it. I want your sauce, baby.
Rob, I was reminding Bo the other day, when you said bourbon, Bo just loses it.
Well, it is also a brown sugar bourbon based sauce.
Brown sugar bourbon based sauce. That is like the greatest sentence I've ever heard.
That really sounds delicious.
It doesn't.
With both and in the fire sauce, it's also uses Carolina Reaper mash and ghost pepper.
Oh God!
Yes, that's good.
I actually want to send you guys some barbecue chips, regional to my area called.
There is nothing more than I love than chili sauce.
Okay, hold on. Papa says to share his damn screen and it will answer Rob's bet.
Oh, okay, here we go.
Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it.
See, Papa.
I've been getting into barbecue sauces lately. I've now got like this sticky barbecue one in my fridge, as well as the good old HP. You don't know HP, the English sauce?
Oh yeah, we got it. Yeah, HP. Yeah.
Yeah.
I only use my own barbecue sauce.
Did you make Papa big?
Sorry.
Share his screen. Monday Night Raw,
boy.
Monday Night Raw, WrestleMania. Okay, and Monday Night Raw,
Oh,
Friday
crap.
Night SmackDown, Friday Night SmackDown.
Oh,
back.
crap.
He's supposed to be in Backlash. Really, that surprises me. Is this really his? Where John Cena's upcoming appearance? All right, well, I guess you have a good chance if he actually makes all those dates.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I love that
clip.
That's all I'm saying, brother. I'm getting some sources, baby. Rob, you're gonna have to. I think you're gonna be playing
Like
this
an
game.
idiot.
What have we got here? Ketchup, chips, and poutine sauce.
Poutine.
It's Canadian.
Poutine.
So
It's,
not only did Claudia have to go sit through that PLE, but if Rob wins, she'll have to share a bathroom. Hey, shit, we've just moved into a 4-bedroom townhouse. We have 3 bathrooms now for 2 people. She's used to that. Don't worry. Plus, you know what, Rob? In all honesty, man, you know what I wish we sold here in Australia. Out of all of those sauces that you gave me, the best ones, even Claudia loves it, is those ones with the syringes in them, the extract of pepper and all those. Those are just sensational, man. I love those.
Do you have any of Rob's sauces remaining, or are they all gone?
Oh no, I do, because as much as I talk myself up that I love chili, and I do, these sauces are so hot you can't have them with every meal. You have to be very specific when you eat them.
Good.
Yeah, I sent him some really good shit. Yeah. So there was some some of the Blair's death sauces, and I think some insanity sauce and stuff like that.
Is Simon able to handle any of this? Has Dave or Simon? Or
One drop of that insanity sauce will bugger you up, man. That's just hardcore.
Thanks for the super chat, baby. Yeah, burgers and ribs.
Thank you very much.
Burgers and ribs.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that, man, very much. Claudia, yeah, I use the pepper extract so much. See? That's funny, man. It's funny. You know, when you're in a relationship, sometimes you start taking parts of your partner's personality on board and you change a little. One of the things that I've done with Claudia is her chili level when we first met was like, it was good, but it wasn't great like it is now.
So what you're saying, Bo, if I can bring it into comics for a second, it's almost like you get a symbiote and like you each kind of work together and you take on elements one another and you become a we instead of 2 eyes.
I will show you exactly what I call her on my phone, and that is my symbiote.
There we go.
That's exactly who she is, and I love it. All right,
wait,
so
I want to see this. What's Rob do?
Oh, and just for one last thing, non-wrestling related, but just so you know, this book is in the standby for the giveaway bin, and I thought of you, 100%, brother. Ooh. First appearance of Kane going in there for you, brother.
Bo, you're muted.
I love that book. Anything with Kane and Scarlet Spider, baby. Because what's the greatest storyline that ever happened, Rob?
It is
maximum clonage.
Not maximum carnage or clonage. Neither one of them, but especially not clonage.
All right, let's wrap it up by going on to about what's happening moving forward and the next pay-per-view. So thoughts on how Cena is going to ruin the WWE for everyone. He did say it. Is he going to come on Monday with, Tuesday for me. Is he going to come on Raw with the spinner belt?
That would be kind of cool, actually.
That'd be kind of fun.
I'm telling you, I reckon he will.
Hey, here's your little toy belt while I take the real one home.
Oh, I didn't even realize that was you. How are you, mate? There you go. That's what happens when you change names on the interwebs. With new title. Oh, new title. Ooh, Popper. That's intriguing.
Yeah.
That's intriguing. What is the next pay-per-view? Backlash, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
WrestleMania.
Well,
Backlash.
Yeah.
Well, is that what they've called it? WrestleMania Backlash.
Yeah, that's what they call it the last couple of years. WrestleMania's Backlash because they don't. It's just they have to throw WrestleMania again to make you be like, I guess what happened. What the backlash is from this.
Banking off the WrestleMania name. Smart.
It's usually contains a lot of remixed matches from WrestleMania.
Oh yeah.
I won't be able to probably watch. That's my dad's birthday, May 10th.
May 10th, eh?
Yeah.
You know what's great, Vogs, is that you don't have to watch it live. You can watch it the next day.
That's right.
Yes.
Anybody know Niobe Comics?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's who I was telling her. That's what I was telling you about. You don't want this guy on here.
Oh, right. Okay. Because he did send a private
message
message
there. Comics. It's not Niobe Comics.
Okay. Well, to wrap it up then, we will be back. I don't know about everybody else being here, but I will certainly be back for Backlash. I don't think I'll be doing a pre-show for it. Maybe. It depends on if other people join, but I will be definitely doing a review. Everybody is always welcome to join as per normal. Everybody go around the table and let everyone know where they can find you, starting with Heroes for Hire Comic Club.
Oh, well, tomorrow at noon Eastern, my time here in America, in the United States, Bad Cinema, another episode of Bad Cinema movie reviews. We review bad movies or B movies. And tomorrow we will be reviewing the movie Death Race 2000, starring David Carradine and Sylvester Stallone, directed by Roger Corman. And Tuesday at 8 p.m. Eastern, Comic Conversations. And my special guest will be Bub's World. So tune into that.
Oh, you're not kidding. That's an awful movie. It's so good.
Yeah. That's my specialty.
It's so good, bro.
That's an awful movie. It's so good. I like that one.
It's true.
Rob.
Hi, Bo.
I keep muting myself because I'm eating chips and I don't want the crunching on there. So stop making me talk. Where can people find you, Rob? And why is your channel one of the best on YouTube?
I don't go that far. I'm just a guy who opens boxes. And in 10 and a half hours, I'll be opening up some boxes on my channel, or 10 hours and 15 minutes. My Monday mail call will drop. I will be upgrading a major Amazing Spider-Man key book in this mail call. Thursday is usually another unboxing. This Thursday's unboxing will be unboxing books that I got just to give away to you. And when do I give those books away? Well, that's on Saturday during my show, Only Slabs, the live streaming show that has other comic book creators or comic book collectors on my show to talk about their collection and showcase some of their slabbed books. And that show is at 11:30 a.m. Pacific, 2:30 p.m. Eastern. I think it's like 4:30 in the morning on Sunday in Australia. Isn't that about
Who's the guest?
Right. It will be Batmite this go round.
Oh,
Green.
Papa!
Papa.
Papa just pulls out that out of nowhere.
Well, now we know who's challenging for the belt at Backlash. It's Papa. He's got
Cashing
the
in
contract.
Backlash. Papa.
Well, I guess we know where we can see Papa next, and that's going to be beating the crap out of somebody for the women's title. Now, Boston Chris Comics, it is your first time on Aussieverse. Where can people see you?
All right. Well, my channel is Boston Chris Comics. You can, look at my content that I have on there. This Saturday, I will be on The Hunt on Tony Sanders' channel, so you can check us out there. Me and Bleak are both on there with a host of others. Always, I'm on every Sunday on Bleaker's Church. So if you go into Bleaker's channel on Sunday mornings, I'm usually hanging out there with Papa and Vogs and whoever else wants to join us. Let's see. I do a show with Who Dat Comics. Usually it's either Wednesday or Thursday called Graphic Content, and also on Papa Whaley's channel for Sweet Chin Music on Thursdays. So
that leads me into the next segue. Very well done, sir. That was almost like we discussed this beforehand. Papa does have his own channel as well. That is Papa Wheelie with his own wrestling show, Sweet Chin Music. And when can people see that? Let me look that up because I did not come prepared and I can't remember when that is. Because in Australia time, it is very, very bad. I always have to watch the replay.
It's Thursday at sleepy time. or Friday at sleepy time for Australia.
While Papa puts that in the chat of where we can see him, Vogs, where can people see you, sir?
I have my own channel, WVogs18, where I post pre-recorded videos from comic book pickups from the LCS or a mail day from the community or random sporadic live streams sometimes.
Excellent, fantastic. And Bleeker, it is also your first time on Aussieverse, sir. So where can people find you?
Well, first of all, thank you very much for having me. I appreciate that. Second, you can find me Bleecker Street Comics, YouTube. Every Sunday we do a show called Comic Book Church. It's much like this show. Everybody's welcome. It's at 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so it's probably, I don't know what time that is in Australia, probably way too early, I would imagine, or way too late, one or the other, I'm not sure. But either way, it's a great show. I do a show called Band of Brothers with a bunch of people. It's a comic book auction show. We're on the hunt, and we do other things. Check us out.
Yeah.
Papa says Sweet Chin Music Thursdays and Papa Sync Fortnight. And I'm a churchgoer on Sundays and Mad Spideys on Saturday nights. It's funny, Papa, the only time I ever get to watch you live is when you're playing a game. And I think I've watched you play a game more than I've seen anybody else play a game. So you're actually enjoyable. I like watching, I've got to admit.
So just so you know, church would be at 12:45 in the morning on Monday in Melbourne.
Okay.
There you go.
And to close out the show, we are going to have the two people say that have never been on the show, what is Aussieverse?
I know what it is. Can I say?
Well, everybody knows what it is. I want to see if Bleecker and Boston know. What is
I have no
Aussieverse?
idea.
Fucking
The name
awesome.
of the channel.
Bleecker.
Fucking awesome. Not. I know.
Close. Do you want us vets to say it?
Maybe
All
a
right,
hint.
fair enough. Everybody else-
Bugs. Can you give me a hint, Bugs?
No, I can't. There's no way to
NWO.
Oh, for life. I
For
got you.
life.
Oh,
Thank
for
you,
life.
thank you very
Okay.
much. We will remember that. Papa Wheelie, there you go, a bit too late. Aussieverse is and always will be for life. We will catch you next month.
Aussieverse is for popsicles.
Backlash. We will see you next week for, actually, no, we're doing a previews, May collected editions tomorrow on Aussieverse, and then we're doing the once a month live final order cutoff on Wednesday night. And then we have other guests coming on the show like Peter Lane, and we also have other people coming that I've gone blank on their names, but don't worry, you'll see the promos. We will catch you next time. Thank you, everybody who sat here for 2 hours and watched this show, because I know how important your time is, and you decided to spend it here. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you
Don't
to
forget to
everybody
spay
that
and
joined
neuter
the
your
show
pets.
today. Big shout out to Boston and Bleecker for cracking their cherries here as well. Thank you, everybody. We will catch you next time.